Hi guys, I hope you guys are good today. You have already seen the thumbnail. Yes, we have a very special guest here today, and her name is Andrea Sooch. So let me tell you a bit about Andrea Sooch. She's born in Budapest. She moved to USA in a very early age. She's a native Hungarian, and she's fluent in German, read and write in Russian, and she's trained in psychodrama, drama therapy, and group therapy. And she's also a licensed and published clinician, and she goes by the name Andrea Sooch. And she has also acted in films and TV series, to name a few: John Wick 3, Blacklist, Taxi Brooklyn, Claws, New Amsterdam, Conrad. Yeah. And apart from all this, she has also published a few books. Let me name a few. One of them is Ignite, which talks about the representation of women, which to make an exceptional change in their lives. Then she has also written a book called The Acting Cure, which talks about the treatment of people with intellectual disabilities. Yes, that's impressive, right? I mean, this is something why I wanted to connect with Andrea and understand actually about her business, about what she does. And it would be a very good opportunity for me as well to learn, and even for the audience. And just reading her official website, so it says that in her late 40s, she decided to go back to get a master's degree in social work. And while she was at it, she also got another master's on drama therapy. Yes, guys, today we are gonna actually discuss about drama therapy, and Andrea Sooch will be joining us in a minute or two. And yes, we're going to discuss drama therapy completely from a layman point of view, because as a layman, I don't know what is drama therapy. So I want to understand that, how drama therapy is useful, how she is able to change lives, how she is able to use that with different people, and etc. So today the whole discussion, like the thumbnail, what you have read there, we're going to discuss drama therapy with Andrea Sooch. And you guys are watching Minding My Business, and I'm your host, Avi. First of all, again, just for the records, let me thank you for joining me here. And I am basically, I work for the shipping industry, and this is something which, I like to talk to people. And for last 2-3 months, I've been talking to different kinds of people from different walks of life, understand few things, because I think in the lockdown, there were many things which I learned and which I understood as well. And I read about you. I saw your blog with Matt Napo the other day.
Yeah.
It's nice. 1 hour episode, and it was pretty interesting, And I wanted to actually get in touch with you because drama therapy is something which I've been coming across. And let me tell you something. Actually, I'm from India, and there was a very big actor. He was a film star who actually committed suicide like a month and a half back. And it's still under investigation, and people say that because he was suffering from depression. So there have been a lot of investigations. People are giving their opinions. Everyone has their own, like, oh, he shouldn't have, or there was some issue. But then, so I wanted to understand first, because this is a topic where, we can go to Wikipedia and read few lines, and it's not enough. We can only define what it is. But then I really wanted to understand, and, before understanding, I read few things. How, what mental illness is. I wanted to talk about mental illness, but maybe I was not ready. But drama therapy is something where it helps me understand the whole process, if I start with what is drama therapy, and then I can take this topic to, maybe stretch it till mental illness. So that is the whole idea, just to understand as a layman, like what drama therapy is all about. Maybe not like a lecturing class, but mostly like a discussion, like you explaining. So that is what the idea of this whole episode is. And yeah, basically, Andrea, so what I gather, I've been going through the internet also, and I've read a lot of definitions. And I mean, as per the internet, I mean, what drama therapy is defined is basically usage of theater techniques. I mean, that's what they use. I mean, to promote personal growth and promote mental health. I mean, I have a printout here which says this approach can provide the context for participants to tell their stories, how they have been feeling. So, I mean, I really wanted to understand I mean, what is first drama therapy in a layman point of view? And then I can again go ahead with what your experience in this field is and how probably people have been affected. So that's what my agenda is in this whole meeting. So I'll leave it to you for a bit. Sorry,
that's actually you on the questions you sent me. You had a really great definition of drama therapy. Would you mind reading that so everybody can hear that?
Okay, so from the internet, this is from the internet. So what I've read is drama therapy is the intentional use of drama or theater processes to achieve therapeutic goals. And drama therapy is embodied practice that is active and experiential. This approach can provide the context for participants to tell their stories, set goals and solve problems, express feelings or achieve catharsis.
So actually you picked my favorite from the internet because this is the definition of the North American Drama Therapy Association's website, right? Yeah, so this is pretty much it. So let's break it down a little bit so people can understand it better. So when you go to therapy, to talk therapy, you talk, right?
Correct.
And that's great. That's great because, you know, it's all, you know, you're processing things, you're shifting around from your unconscious, make it conscious, because when something is not conscious, we can't deal with it because we don't know it's there. Correct. Right? It's the same like you have something in your skin that irritates it until you know it's there, and until you remove it, it's going to keep on doing that, right? Yeah. So the whole premise of therapy is that let's shine the light on events or parts of us that we're not quite aware of, so we don't know that it hurts, right?
Okay.
So what I love about drama therapy, that it's not just talking. So as you read it in your definition, it's a whole body approach, because you put it from here to your body. So for me, and of course, everybody is different, right? And how we started this conversation, everybody has a different opinion. And, you know, you like pizza, I don't, you know? I mean, it's very, very personal what a person like or what works for a person. So for me, it works. So I'm talking for those of us who find it valid, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm sure some people are going to listen to it and they say it totally doesn't work for me. Great, just find whatever works for you. That's great. So it's an embodied technique. Means that you not just think about it, how it would be, but you actually act it out. Okay. And for me, as an actor, because, you know, in my parallel career, I have two passions, two loves. I am a professional actor.
Yes.
So it really works with me because this is how I understand a character, right? I don't do only what they told me in school to break down the objective and do this, do that. I actually reverse role with the character, and I'm going to get back to it later. Okay. I know it doesn't make sense right now. And I really slip into the skin of that other person to understand better how it works. So drama therapy plays. Drama therapy uses play, embodiment, projections, role theory, method, and aesthetic distance.
Okay.
Meaning, how much easier is to talk about your problem when you say, oh, I know somebody who has this issue, right?
Yeah.
Versus saying that I have this issue.
Yeah.
So you can step out of your role, your problem, and you can tell this story in a third person. Or you can, you give yourself the freedom from being you, from your logic, from your circumstances, and you can play that role.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, I've seen this in a lot of movies where, I mean, in very small parts where the lead or the character who's having such issues who goes to a therapist. I mean, sometimes what I've seen in films, because I've never met somebody who has actually spoken to me like that. So in the films I've seen, I mean, what exactly you're saying is, they don't say they have it, but I know a friend who's actually, they go by the third person. It's probably, it makes them feel easier that way. Maybe that's what.
Of course. But of course, the therapist knows it's you because you.
What I am facing an issue, maybe, but if I say that Bob is, then yeah, maybe that way I could actually tell out the whole issue and, it might not be a problem for me internally. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I could relate to what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right. And it depends, how deep is the trauma, how deep is that issue? Because, maybe I just want to say that, listen, that's happened to me. That's horrible. And how can he do it to me? And how can it happen? Right. But when it's too deep, it's so hard. So it's easier to narrate that, well, my friend Kathy has this issue that, this and this happened with her. And she simply doesn't understand that what could she do? What would be the next step, right? Or, if you're working with children, you give 2 puppets to a kid, you're going to know everything what's going in their life in 5 minutes because they're going to act it out, right? That, don't say that. Yes, I say it. I beat you up. No, mom, So this is, in very layman's terms, this is it. Like we act out that issues and 2 things happening. It's a catharsis, right? Yeah. There are 2 kinds of catharsis. A catharsis of abreaction. This is when it just comes out. It's like, it's not in me anymore, right? This is when some therapy actually is based on hitting that pillow or tell that chair or, so it comes out of you. It feels great. Yeah. But then there is the catharsis of integration. When you look at it from another perspective and you start to connect dots in a way you have not connected it yet. It also great to develop empathy and compassion. Let's say you mad at somebody, or on a higher level, let's say you have a very serious enemy or somebody you hate. Okay. So when you play that part, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, right? It's a whole different story because all of a sudden you understand moving parts that you didn't understand from your role. So drama therapy is a very eclectic form of therapy. So now we hear concentrating on role play and role theory. Okay, there are other branches of drama therapy. It's and I actually loaded a slide for you. If you want, you cut it in. If not. But I have like a little 3-slide PowerPoint presentation so you guys understand it better.
Yes, I will take it. I use that. Yeah, even for my learning as well. Even for my learning.
Yeah, and then you can cut whatever. So when you witness something, you already distance yourself from where you are, right? When you reverse roles and look at it from another perspective, it gives you another insight. Think about it, how many different roles you are playing in your life.
Correct.
You are somebody's son, you are somebody's friend, you are somebody's employee, and so on and so on and so on. And again, if we go with archetypes, which is like generalized blanket role types, you are the seeker. That's why you're doing it. You are the curious one, right? Yeah. You are so they are those roles that we play now, and they are those roles that we desire to play. So with this form, it's a great opportunity to try out that role. In the safety of a therapy room. You can try out a difficult conversation, knowing that probably it's not going to go that way, but just trying it out is healing. Right? Yeah. And what we talked about at the very beginning, probably it was still not on, depression. So we usually get depressed when we feel that we do not have control over our life or our future, right? So And we've all been there. I don't think there is one person listening who has not been in this dark place, right?
I mean, I'm just drifting away from the topic on depression. Is first to acknowledge that you are depressed. First to know how, I mean, because many people, I think, don't know that, what do they define as depression? How am I supposed to feel to be depressed? I think this is something which probably, this is the problem, I think, in the society, basically, where people are actually unable to figure out if they're depressed or not. Maybe, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, say, suppose there are those mixed feelings, what defines depression? Maybe there is depression definition on book, but I think we as a society are still unable to, I mean, we're trying to figure out, but as an individual, like, am I depressed or not? Like, that is something which we are still trying to figure out, I think. I mean, this is something which I've talked to a lot of people and they still say, like, I don't know. I mean, I talked to a friend, he said, like, oh, I mean, I've been feeling like this, although I have the money, I have my life, it's great, but there is that sick feeling inside. I don't know if it's depression or not, but how am I depressed? Like, I have everything in my life. So that's something which probably, I mean, that is where, a therapist is required to actually probably tell you, or maybe they need somebody to talk to. Yeah. I mean, I just want to say this. Yeah, that's it.
You're right. I mean, what we talked about it, the first to note is that I have a sprint in my something irritating my right. I mean, I stepped into a thorn, right?
Correct.
Because when you have the thorn in, first we have to notice that I have a thorn in, right?
Yeah.
And then started to figure out how to remove that, and then started to figure out how to heal that.
Correct.
So it has a lot of moving parts. So you're absolutely right. The first part is that to notice that, oh my God, something is not okay, because it's so gradual and so slow that we don't even notice it, right? So it's really good to catch that downward spiral as soon as we can, because then it's easier to do, because there are a lot of interventions for depression.
Correct.
There is this new book that came out. Actually, my other half wrote it, so I'm pretty familiar with the content. It's called Learned Hopefulness. Sometimes we do not have control over our lives and our circle. Most times we never do. So find those where you do. When I'm talking to a really depressed client or a friend and say, yes, you do have a choice. You do have a choice if you go and take a shower now or not.
Yeah.
You do have a choice if you get up from your bed and go around the block or not.
True. Yeah.
You have a choice if you have a nice cup of tea or not. And you certainly have a choice to do those little interventions, like doing a gratitude visit every day, which is not the big things. It's not thank you God for my life and thank you my mother. It's about this past 24 hours. What happened? What did you do? Or what did you see that made your heart smile? We're not here, we here. And then people gonna say, my dog licked me, or my child gave me a hug, or I've seen a beautiful flower. So we gonna say things that usually you just go by.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that I should be grateful for.
Correct.
You know?
Understood. Yeah.
So when we notice those little things, okay, let's do an experiment, everybody. All right, are you with me?
Yes.
Think of something that really gave you that heart smile this past day, okay? And when you got it, just amplify that feeling.
Yeah.
Where do you feel that, Avi?
In
which part of your body?
I mean, here somewhere. I mean, that this part, yeah,
right.
Like, that energy flows.
Right. Exactly what you just said. This energy is oxytocin, endorphin, dopamine, serotonin, all the happy hormones that physically make you better.
See, do.
So do it as often as you can, especially when you're in a miserable mood. And I challenge my clients who say, oh, nothing happened, nothing. Look around in this room where you sit right now and find something that you like. It can be a color, it can be a guitar, it can be a yellow toy car, it can be a drawing of your kid, whatever. And so whatever you need to do within reasons of care. So we're not talking about unexpected behavior. Like if you like to torture kids, don't do that, so it's like within socially accepted norms. Find something that gives you the warm and fuzzy. Here in the US, they say the warm and fuzzy feeling. That because when you feel the warm and fuzzy, you are making those biological chemical changes in your body that actually enhances your well-being.
So can I say that in a very simplest of terms, so thinking about the good times and probably say, I'm taking 24 hours into consideration, thinking about the good times and probably feeling it. Maybe the best thing you have done or best thing you have felt in the last 24 hours. I think this is a good practice that way. Right now, the activity with it, it felt good. Probably a person, if he or she does it to himself or herself, I think maybe thinking about something like this in a day, maybe I think 2-3 times a day or at least twice a day, I think it could lighten up the mood also, It just changes the
Absolutely. It's a great way. What I do, I just share with you what I do pretty much every morning, and it takes under a minute. Okay. Well, I like to have a cup of coffee in the morning, right? And I like to journal.
Yeah.
I just like this little routine to journal. Yeah.
Correct.
So I have 3 lists. I have a to-do, to-did, and the ta-da.
Yeah.
So the to-do list is the micro goals, right? It's not the big goals, get this promotion. No. It's what I'm going to do before noon here. So it's this next 2 hours here in the US.
Yeah.
Right? Water the plants, make breakfast, pick up the room, right? Micro goals, because it gives me that feeling that I do have control over these things. Correct. I don't have control over the weather or the elections or when COVID gonna stop, but I do have control if I wash up the dishes or not. So when I do it, it gives me a feeling of accomplishment, right? So this is my to-do list.
Yeah.
Then a to-did list, what I did yesterday, what I accomplished. And I can look back. I did all my student emails. I went to the beach. It was so fun. And I was catching up with an old friend who I didn't talk to. Check. And then the ta-da list, that's my gratitude list, what we just talked about, right? I was sitting by the lake with my honey. We had an amazing dinner and we've seen a really funny show, right? It's the warm and fuzzy list.
Yeah.
How long did it take? 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
So even if you do it a couple of times a week, you will notice, trust me, that you will notice a significant change in your mood and your well-being. And those are simple things, right? It's not a commitment that you have to sit cross-legged for an hour. And then back to drama therapy. How can drama therapy come in? So when we were talking about those roles in your life, right? Many clients come in and the big issue is that, let's say I'm a powerful CEO, right?
Correct.
Powerful CEO. And then I come home and he forgets that it's another role. Now you are a dad, now you're a husband, now you're a spouse, now you're a son. That behavior, what works in that role, doesn't work in this role.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
So drama therapy also says that when we can cultivate a flexible role system and we have our roles in harmony, this is a serious pillar of well-being. And also when you're talking about the desired roles, the roles you want to develop, right? When you are in school, you're developing the role of a doctor, correct, or you're developing the role of a businessman, or you're developing the role of a mom.
Correct.
When you're pregnant, or you're developing the role of an actor when you go to school. So those has to be tried out in a simulation, like Olympic athletes do, like spacemen do, right? They don't just go up to space, they have a simulation, a role play.
Role play, yes.
So this is very similar, in drama therapy, that we can reframe the past. So we can go back to an event and take a look at the event from the third person, from a role reversal, from a correction. How would it happen if it would have gone your way? Many movies do that. Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt? Look at that correction at the end. Those who didn't see that, it's so good. But so they corrected it, right? So we can reframe, correct, shine a new light on the past.
I didn't want just drifting away. I didn't want the ending to be the way it was. It was good. It was good that he changed it that way, like very positive. Like nice. You don't want that. Come on. Yeah, that way. I get that. What you're saying.
Yeah. And then you can talk to yourself from the past who didn't know better.
Correct.
You can give yourself advice in the past. You can ask advice from the future. All you need is 2 empty chairs. It's endless. And I really don't want to confuse the listener talking more about it, because we can't talk about it in an hour.
Correct.
So I'm just listing a couple of possibilities what you can do in the past. You can reframe the past. You can have a different relationship with that event, and you can heal it. You can't change what happened, but you can change your relationship to what happened. And that's the healing.
Correct.
In the present, you can problem solve an issue. You can try out plan A, B, C, D, E. You can play it out for real.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So you can problem solve. In the future, you can future project. As I mentioned, you can talk to somebody who you want to get advice from. So it's really endless. And you don't need any equipment. All you need is an empty chair or 2. And of course, you need a good drama therapist who guides you in a journey, because it's one of those things that I'm sure you can do it at home because there are YouTube clips and whatnot. But, you don't do brain surgery at home. You don't so go and find somebody who knows, who can show you how to do it. Have 10 sessions with somebody, and then you can do it on your own. So,
ask you something. Because I have come across this term very recently. Like very, very recently, I've come across this term drama therapy. But how long has this been known to people? Like, say, a general, has it been like a long time that drama therapy existed, or like it's a new technique now being developed, or like maybe I'm not aware, as in
No, it's been around as long as talk therapy. Drama therapy. The pioneers of drama therapy are still with us.
Okay.
Robert Landy, the father of role theory, Robert D. Johnson, they still the father of developmental transformation. We just had the 40th conference of drama therapy. So I would say it's around for about 50 years or so.
Okay.
But before drama therapy, it is psychodrama, which I'm going to show you a slide. That slide. How are they similar? How are they different? Psychodrama is as old as psychotherapy, psychoanalysis. J.L. Moreno was living in the same time like Freud was. Sigmund Freud. So what he was doing, he was acting out things. He was working with prostitutes, a group who had nobody to turn to. They were acting out these stories. He did a living newspaper. So acting out things. We do it from the beginning of times when we tell stories around the fire. That's why we go to the theater, because people act out conflicts that resonate with us.
Correct.
So the concept is thousands of years old.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But this form of therapy is newish. If you say 50 years is newish, it is newish, right?
Okay, yeah, I will consider it not that new, but new. Okay, maybe for people like me, I won't say people like me, but then I think I have come across this very recently, so there might be more people. But yeah, newish. Like it's a new technique. It's a new technique. Probably now those who know and those who have probably read about it and those who have already studied that, probably they would know. But other than that, I think this is something again. Quite a lot of the population in the world, maybe they're still, they need to know this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we just put it in your search engine, you guys are in Dubai, like Dan, who wrote Learned Hopefulness, just had a huge webcast with Dubai last week.
Okay.
So you can find this webcast. It was hundreds of people on that webcast. So I know that Dubai is very interested in new techniques and new methods. So if you're interested, Google it, drama therapy. In America, the number one source, and I'm part of that organization, is the North American Drama Therapy Association. NADTA is the acronym. And they are just like movers and shakers, and they awesome, and they so fresh ideas, and just like they really, I'm very proud of being part of the organization. So please check them out. And they have resource pages. Maybe you can, put the link for your listeners, of the NADP, and I'm happy to do it. Yeah, so it's a lot of resources. Follow them on Instagram. It's like a lot. And then there is a drama therapy association in almost every country. Because it's like a international, like at the conference, it was so cool. We had people from all over the country, all over the world, a lot of different countries, and great practitioners. So if it resonates with you, then please try it out for yourself. It's a group practice too. So it's very, very inexpensive. You can just drop into a group and see for yourself if you like it. I did a psychodrama group, and I was just like, oh my God, I want to do this. And then I got introduced to drama therapy, and I'm like, oh my God, I even like this more. For me, again, it's my opinion, right? Because of the aesthetic distancing, that it's so non-intrusive. You can step as close and as far as you want to. Yet I experience it. It's not just in my head. So I just wanted to show you maybe that slide, if it's okay with you. So can you make it go? Okay. So this is how I think of drama therapy and psychodrama. Have you guys seen this movie, Twins, with Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Yeah, most of us did. So it's the same. It has the same mom, but different fathers, right? So the common thing is that they both use embodied technique of drama and the theater. And they both can be used in individual or group setting. So here is that you read it for yourself, because there are a lot of differences. So they come from a different background. You see, one is based on Jungian psychology, the archetypes, the roles, the role theory. The other one is believe it or not, it's sociometry, like Facebook. Moreno said he created psychodrama to promote sociometry. So then, another difference is the what's the aim is. It's different. For me, it's a huge difference. Aesthetic distancing through play and improvisation.
Okay, yeah. That is.
So I step out of this me, Andrea, and I can riff around that. How would it be if I would be Kathy? How would it be if I would be the little butterfly? Right?
That's what we talked about. Yeah. Correct.
And this is why it's lighter, meaning that not intrusive is not in the bad way. Psychodrama hits deep, hard, and direct. Drama therapy dances with you until you're ready.
Okay.
So, and this is again,
it's a more, what do you say? It's a more friendly approach. Easier approach, I would say. Easier approach.
I would say it's a more approach when you distance through play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in psychodrama, it's more you.
True. Understood.
Right. So that's where I put it with the red. The aesthetic distance is the main
Aesthetic
difference.
distancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Psychodrama has a clearer structure. In drama therapy, it's a more eclectic structure.
Okay.
And psychodrama is more specific. The exercises has more like streamlined, more specific. And drama therapy has very a huge array of eclectic exercises. And also the role of the therapist here is more like in dramaturgy is the artist, the teacher of drama, the leader of the ritual. And in psychodrama, it's more like you are the analyst. So it is kind of like psychoanalysis in action. You are the therapist. Another common thing, and there are a million techniques and a lot of ways to do it. So those are just my 3 favorites.
Role play, empty chair, and doubling. Okay. Okay. This one we
So let me just give you a little example for 3, and then we're gonna really concentrate on the empty chair because this is where you guys at home can benefit most.
Okay.
So a role play is, let's say that you want a job and you want to try out your interview skills.
Okay.
So guess what I would do with you? I would ask you to pick a partner or ask for a volunteer who would want to be your partner.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, you can do 2 things. You can play this scene, and you can cast that person as the boss and you can try out what you would say, right? And afterwards, probably I would have you play the boss.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that you would immediately know what is it I need from that person. So I can hire. So again, there is an immediate role reversal. So you can do it both ways. Both are very, very beneficial. Hospitals use it with standardized patient programs, right? There is an actor coming in playing the patient, and then the doctor has to, right? So this is a safe room before we do it for real.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
Doubling is, you see this gentleman here, we do have permission to use this picture. This is Dan, who wrote Learn Hopefulness, who is my partner, and this is me. So doubling is great when, and this is a split double. So doubling has many ways too.
Okay.
So the split double is, for example, when you have like a, should I do it, should I not, right? So he says that, well, what I'm thinking is I really should do it because if I don't do it, I would regret it. And this other said that, well, I think that I really shouldn't do it. It's very risky. And I really don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't want to rock the boat, right? So these 2 people physically stand behind the person who, protagonist, the person who is it about. And they speak out the thoughts. And then this person nods or corrects it. Like they say, no, that's not what I would think. All right, say it. And then, he can correct it. When it's only one person behind you, it's great for grieving. I'm so sad. I wish he would be still here. Another person comes in. Oh God, I just need a hug, or I just need to eat ice cream. So it's kind of like it's a compassion exercise too, because you get on board with what another person is feeling. This other person feels that you hear and see them and you get them. So it is beautiful. Again, it can be used in a huge array of ways. So I want to focus on empty chair because our hour is coming up, and I think that's the most important. What a person can do at home. So an empty chair with a role reverser, you looking at both roles and you experiencing both perspectives.
Both perspectives, yeah.
So now reverse role and become that person who you said gratitude to. So physically reverse role, sit on the other chair.
Okay.
And say back, how did it feel to you to hear that?
Felt great, yeah.
And what did that person mean to you? Meaning you.
It meant a lot, yeah. Means a lot, yeah.
So let's call that person who you said you gratitude to Bob, okay?
Okay.
So when you're playing Bob's role, you tell Avi, how did it feel what Avi just told you? And how do you feel about Avi? And again, people, it's your show, it's your play. It's not a documentary, right? So you say whatever you want to say. You say whatever you need to hear from Bob. Okay. It's like, oh, she wouldn't say that. Well, you're playing that role, so you say whatever you want to say. It's a correction. It's the healing, right? And then you sit back to Avi's chair and you say the last thing, what you want Bob to hear. So you can do it with gratitude. You can do it with problem solving. You can do it with conflict resolution, not for the other person. It's all for you guys. It's all for you. Okay. It's not, people never do what we want them to do. People never say what we want them to say. It's for your peace. It's for your forgiveness. It's for you. Okay. It's for your relationship to that, what's happening.
Correct. Yes.
You can talk to your past self and tell him or her that, you know, what you want to tell him or her when they were 6. You can talk to your future self and ask that future self that what should be my next step. It's literally endless what you can do with it.
Correct.
Right? And me being the actor on camera, what do you think I did next? I taped it and I watched it back.
Okay.
I deleted it.
Okay.
And then, you know, I was Avi, I was Bob, and then I was the audience.
Okay.
Three completely different perspectives. We published an article on it. You know, we working with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we're using this technique, and it's the results are amazing. So actually we did publish the paper with my interns about this, like video feedback with group work with people with intellectual disabilities. But of course, it's not the population. It works for everybody.
Yeah.
It was that paper was very specifically. So yeah, so in a nutshell, and I know that it's kind of like intense to talk about something in such a short time. We just wanted to give you guys a little taste. And I really encourage you that if you like, if it makes sense, if you feel that, ooh, that really resonates with me, explore it. Because I can tell you from my life, it was, and it still is life-changing. It is. It really reframes a lot of things. It gives so much insight. And you know, just with simply, it makes me feel good. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel that I do have control over how I resolve a problem or how I look at something.
I mean, before I close the recording, I mean, it was a very nice session, because this is something, you know, like if a person has no idea, I think it was a very good discussion from the beginning, because you actually try to understand from the root point of view. Of course, we wouldn't know much in an hour, but it's a nice discussion where, you know, we found a solution. You know, we found things to do today, which I think I could practice myself. And share one piece, of course, I think with nobody around, I would like to do that, because, you know, let's see how I feel and how I would want the other guy to be, you know. When I sit on the other person's chair, I would also like to know how, you know, the behavior would be, how I presume that person would think. So that is something which, I mean, I have never done it before, and it is pretty insightful. And I think, I mean, if these things make you happy, yeah, I mean, why not? I think that's a better way of life. I mean, Andrea, I just wanted to know, I mean, you're in the film industry as well. Like, do you talk about this with your colleagues in the movies, or like this is like a completely different subject? Maybe, you know, I mean, because when I'm asking you this, because often we hear, you know, people from the industry, you know, they go through this depression, I mean, because obviously they have a lot of pressure, maybe more than me, and many people have that. Many don't acknowledge, maybe, you know. But I mean, have you talked to people in the industry as well, or like you are mostly talking to people maybe outside the industry more, maybe because the ones in the industry, maybe they don't want to come forward, or maybe you haven't talked to them before? This is just a general question. I mean, no naming. I'm just asking, I mean, in general.
It's a great question, Avi. Okay, so when I'm an actor, I'm an actor.
Correct.
And I'm not soliciting advice.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
I mean, when I'm in that role, I'm an actor, and I'm talking to my peers about whatever peers talk about.
Correct.
When I'm in a therapist, like if an actor comes to my other role when I'm the therapist, and you know, he sets up sessions and whatnot, Of course, we talk about it, but I mean, it seems like you're a know-it-all, when you like launch in and save their lives, in the crafty table.
Yeah,
So
correct.
it's just not well. And also it's not, I mean, my role is there to be an actor like anybody else.
Correct.
Right. And it's also awkward if you share. So that's why, a therapist is a good idea because, sharing it with somebody who doesn't have another role conflict, like a friend, that's why, your therapist is not supposed to know you or anybody, so it's a very separate, very specific role.
Correct.
When you go to therapy, that person is there to support you and guide you on your journey, and that person should not be in a dual role.
Correct.
That person should be your friend, your husband, your lover, or your mother, right? Go to a stranger, go to a therapist who is your therapist. That's their role.
I mean, this session it's a very different session and different topic to talk about. And we all are shy about it Firstly, we all are very shy, and we don't want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. But certainly there is the elephant in the room, and it's good to acknowledge it, before it becomes a bigger elephant. And I think that's what you said in the beginning as well. Catch it when it is small rather than, make it big. So I think this is where I would like to pause it also. I mean, I won't say stop it, I will pause it. This is where I think I could give this session a pause, and it was really nice, Andrea, to talk to you.
So I just wanted to thank you so much for having me here and for listening to me. I really hope that you found it interesting, and thank you again.
Thank you very much, Andrea, and I will probably see you again on a very detailed podcast soon. And this was very interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you guys liked the video. Please put down in the comment section below what are the things you wanted us to talk about, which we might have missed. Maybe we could do another episode because it's a big topic to discuss about. And guys, please, it's a new channel. I'm trying to do a lot of things. I need your support. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please tell me what more I can do. I'm trying to, get more guests for my podcasts and try to talk about different things going on in the world, different issues, different stuffs, different professions, learn about them while I talk about it. So it's very important that I get feedback, and yeah, it helps me, guys. And thank you very much. I will see you guys next week with another brand new episode. Cheers. Have a nice day.